Take a deep breath, it'll be fine. I'm very, very angry about it, but it's not the case because I am what I am. So it's been a little bit frustrating, but that was very stupid. You don't need to be doing that, you mentalist, but we don't want that. Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be fitting a brand new EV charger to this property because we've just paired up with Ford to sort out a new promotion that they're doing. So every time that our local Ford dealership at Paynes, they've sold an electric vehicle, you will get me to come and install your new EV charger. And we're here today to do just that. So what kit are we going to be using today? So we are going to be fitting a Zappi 7 kilowatt charger, which is tethered. So for those of you who don't know what a tethered charger is, it actually comes pre-fitted with the charging lead, which I think is up to about 7 meters, I believe it is. We're going to use a fuse box distribution board. We're going to be splitting the mains to make sure that we don't get involved with the original house. This is the fastest and easiest way on this particular installation. So let's have a look at the Zappi and yeah, get on with the job. Inside the box that comes from Zappi is we have gone for the black version, so you get a trim. You'll also get, because this is the new version that's compatible with 22 kilowatt chargers, you actually get 3 CT clamps as standard. So for those of you who are installing loads of these, you're going to have a ton of CT clamps spare. So if you don't know what a CT clamp does, so it's a monitoring device that you're using to allow you to measure, the charger to measure what ampage is happening throughout the whole house, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So if you have got, it's load management basically, long story short, load management. You'll get the fixings, you'll get another one, so we've got the 3, and obviously the charger itself. Also in here, which I have done a long time ago, I forgot to put this back plate on first, and yeah, I had to take the charger back off the wall because that was very stupid. This is the incoming supply. So we've got a TNCS system here. We're going to be splitting the tails, and this earthing MET, we're actually going to be fixing this back on in a slightly different location, but we'll come back to that later on. So when you're having an EV charger installed, you need to check to see what our main fuse incomer is. And this one will say on here, it's a 60 amp supply. Now, with a 60 amp supply, you might be thinking, no, you can't have an EV charger installed. That's not actually the case at all. You can install it because we've got load management within the charger itself. It obviously manages the load. It does exactly that. So we'll set that to a 60 amp incoming supply. And then when we notify our local DNO, what will happen is they will then contact the homeowner. They'll come out and they'll upgrade the incoming fuse to probably an 80 amp. That's what I'm guessing they will do. Another consideration to have is it a loop supply? So this is clearly not a loop supply. So if you don't know what a loop supply is, you'll have 2 cables coming straight out the bottom here, and that will effectively go across to a neighbour. Doesn't mean that you're paying for the neighbour's electricity, which another customer thought that was actually the case when I spoke to them the other day and got very, very angry about it. But it's not the case because it's pre-meter anyway. But if you speak to your local DNO and say, I've got a loop supply, I'm having an EV charger installed, I believe that all of the local DNOs to yourselves will come and unloop your supply free of charge, as long as it's in conjunction with having an EV charger installed. What I'm going to be doing right now is we're going to get our board mounted. We'll go through all that. We'll get that mounted up. And I'm going to show you, we're going to split the tails. So what I mean by that, we're going to take the tails out of the original consumer unit, put them into some Henley blocks, and then that way we'll get them into the new board. As you can see, we've installed the zappi right now, so that is done. We're going to bring you in a little bit closer and go through some of the finer details inside the actual zappi itself. I know I said in the previous clip that I was going to install the consumer unit, but I didn't. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to work this way from the zappi backwards. All right, there, I've done it. I've been honest, it's happened. So let's bring you in a little bit closer. With these being the new actual chargers, they're actually capable of doing 22 kilowatts, as I've said earlier on in the video. So they're already pre-engaged. Now, the reason behind it, I believe, from zappi themselves, is that they're then manufacturing just one board. So one board does all as such. So as you can see underneath here, we've got our earthing point, neutral, L1, L2, L3. Hence the reason why we've got our 3 CT clamp positions. So just to go through that, so our load management here, inside the cable, we have multiple Cat 5, I think it is. Now, you only need to use one pair of them. Don't double them up. You don't need to do any of that. That's overkill. What I also like to do is give a little bit of a loop on here because, you know, anytime if that charger changes and decides we want something different, we've got some spare slack on there to hopefully make that happen. But yeah, so essentially that is that end. And now we've got our distribution board down here. So we're going to be using the fuse box EV board today. Inside here, we've got our SPD main switch, SPD supply, and a RCBO. Fairly straightforward thing to do, but all here, like I said earlier on, we've got this MET which is just flapping about in the wind. So what I've planned to do, so we're going to use these Henley blocks, put them all on here, so we've got the colour-coded versions on here, neaten it all up, and then what I'm going to do is mount the consumer unit down here for the EV charger, so it's just tucked up out of the way, and then we're going to bring the cable down and then straight up into it. These earthing blocks, what I like about them, the earthing blocks are great because they're colour coded. It's pretty straightforward then. There's no misunderstanding of what they actually do. So what I'm going to do is put these across here, get them all sorted, and we'll get them installed right this second. So let's get on with that. Now the board is all mounted, it's a little bit, I mean these are like real wheel channel and all that. So this mounting point, because it's so close to the edge of the brick, it's a little bit awkward to fix. So we've got it now sorted. So we've sorted out your gas bond, that's taken care of. So we've just neatened that up. So what I'm going to do is going to get some banding strap once I've sorted all these lot out, and then tie everything all nice and neat together down into the board. And now we're just doing all of the actual cable management now, coming back through, clipping back to the wall. Now these bricks are so brittle that if you're anywhere drilling within this sort of zone here, it just shatters. So it's a little bit frustrating. So I've had to move that board twice, move it across, because two of the fixings on like this side were too close to the edge of a brick. Oh yeah, so had to move it. So it's been a little bit frustrating, but you understand if you do jobs like this happens from time to time, you just have to get over it. Take a deep breath, it'll be fine. So we're now going to get on with fitting the cable back to the wall. So for that, we're going to be using these. So these are made by, here we go, Zero Burn. So there's other manufacturers that do very similar things. So the idea is these have got fire rated properties in them. There's also, I find them a lot neater, as we'll just go and install these and see what you think. Some of you in the comments will be going, why are you not using your spit nailer? And there is a problem with that, because it's broke. I don't understand, it won't fire, it's got gas, it's got plenty of battery storage in it, so it's just refusing to fire at the minute. So it's really, really frustrating, but I would hazard a guess with these bricks, it won't fit that well anyway. So, and luckily enough, I've only got a few fixings to do. But yes, very, 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 very frustrating. Okay, so we like to get everything prepped as much as we possibly can before we interrupt the power, basically, for the customer, because you want the minimum amount of downtime for any client, whatever you're doing. So we're all ready to go. I've even peeled back the ends. The consumer unit is on. We've got our CT clamp already in. We will bring you in a little bit closer, a little bit later on, just to go through everything. But we're at that critical time now where I need to make sure that we'll get it all swapped over as fast as we possibly can, and then we can get on. And then the most important thing is that I need my lunch, because I'm absolutely starving. I'll be honest with you, there's been some ups and downs with this, because it's been a little bit stressful, and I will come back to that at the end of the video. But yeah, so let's go and let the customer know that we're going to kill the power, and we'll get this, at least the consumer units, powered up right now before my lunch, because that would be a victory. And yeah, it's been emotional. Right, okay, so everybody knows it's on a Friday. I'm doing all my editing and quoting and all that sort of stuff. And today's sponsor is Tradify. So for those of you who don't know what Tradify is, it's a job management software. But they have launched a load of AI tools to help you be way more productive and professional when you're sending out things like quotes. So I'm going to try and show you straight away, firsthand, exactly what I mean by that. On here, I've just put in the description, on here, replace old fuse box for new 18th edition consumer unit with surge protection device, install new socket circuit and lighting circuit in the garage. So we're going to go to their new Smart Right feature, and let's click on elaborate. So it's going to do its thing with the power of AI, and here we go. Our team will efficiently replace your outdated fuse box with a modern 18th edition consumer unit equipped with surge protection device. This upgrade not only enhances safety, but also ensures compliance with current electrical standards. Additionally, we will install a new socket circuit and lighting circuit in your garage, providing you with the convenience and functionality you need for all your electrical requirements. Trust us to deliver a high quality workmanship that meets your specific needs. Insert that. Now, doesn't that look a whole load better from a customer's point of view, which in turn will secure more work for you? So use the promo code GHAWK30. You'll get 30% off for the first 3 months. And there's a 14-day free trial in the link in the description below. That's how we got into using Tradify. You have got literally nothing to use and start transforming your business and promoting yourself as the real powerhouse that you actually are. Right, so the power's back on. And while I just untangle my leads, because I don't understand why they are so messy. So we've had a little hoover up, we've tidied that area. So the power's back onto the board. Power's back onto the house, more importantly, and also massive customer points. That's the second brew I've had today, winner. So that is, so take note if we are coming to do some work for you. Make sure the tea is on point, which it is here, fantastic. So we've got our dead testing to do now. Back to, obviously, so dead testing, I'll quickly go through that. So we're measuring the resistance between the live and earth conductor. Back to the board to there. I'm not expecting to be high because I've got, what, 2 meters of run, maybe, something like that. And then after we've done that, you do your insulation resistance, which then fires down 500 volts down each conductor and measures basically what comes back. And obviously a perfect result, which is, this should be, would be 999 mega ohms, believe it or not. What that does is obviously measuring if there's any damage to your cables and things like that, but clearly there's not going to be on this. It's a brand new install, and if there was any damage on the cable, it would mean, being as it's a new install, there is something majorly wrong and we need to change that cable. So we'll go through that testing, we'll get that sorted, and then more importantly, we'll go on to all the live testing when we're using the adapter for the EV charger, which I will get out and show you right now. This is it. This is the EV charger adapter that we're using. This one's made by Q-Tech. There's various different ones on the market that you can have, but this is just the one that I've got. And what that does is replicate a EV vehicle. Now the client's brand new, very shiny Ford is just there. But it would mean I'd have to move everything off the drive to do the testing and just make sure that is fine. But this is a better way of doing it. And also we can then go through the RCD testing, the ZS testing, and yeah, do the job properly. So as the customer's just made me a cup of tea, and it's at that all-important time for me to get some lunch, let's go and sort that out. Okay, I'm suitably stuffed, and I am a big, fat, greedy pig. And, you know, I am what I am. So just blasted through the testing. So I'm going to go through the test results. So my R1 plus R2 is 0.01, which is kind of what I expected because it is a ridiculously short run, and that's fine. So my insulation resistance is 999 all the way across the board. Again, what I expected. So all my dead tests are all done. So my ZE at the board is 0.22. Fine. So we're all good on that side. So now we're getting on to actually all the pairing side of things. So I need to just go and get the customer. We'll get the phone out. He's already downloaded the app. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it picks up the Wi-Fi signal and we can get this wrapped up really quick, get it all energized, and then we can do some live testing with the actual test plug adapter, which would be nice, wouldn't it? So I was just going to run through all that, and then once all that's installed correctly and we got it all connected to the Wi-Fi, I can then just jump back in. But obviously to that point, the customer doesn't want to be on film, and I don't blame him. I get it. Okay, so we've now done all the programming with the customer. So we've now paired it up to the Wi-Fi, and would you believe it, it actually went through like an absolute dream. It really did. So much better than the last one. The last one took me nearly 3 hours to try and get sorted. Oh, it was such a headache. So that's done. It's now done a software update. On there, they will always search. As soon as they're paired to the internet, they'll always download a new update if there is one. Always accept that. Don't think that it's all right, won't bother. Make sure you accept that, which we've just done. So this one's took a little bit of time. But while we've done that, I've just gone through with the customer the new board, all the procedures beyond that, the test procedures for the RCBO, making sure you're testing that every 6 months. It's all labelled up, as you can probably gather. So that is all done. I've also just gone through with, we're going to change it to the fast charge setting, which we've done. The reason why I want to do that, because I want to make sure that it's all set up properly on this end, that I can just quickly go through the testing. So we're now going to do our ZS testing. Now on the X1 test multifunction tester, which is what this is, you need to set it to an EV setting, because if you don't and you try and do a ZS, it will trip out, and that won't be very good, will it? So we're now going to make the charger think that we've got a car plugged in. So we have now put the adapter in. Now we're going to change the state. So it's saying the vehicle is on, but it's not actually charging. So it's now giving me an indication that something's happening. And now all of a sudden I've gone, right, actually, no, I want to charge, but because it's in Eco Plus mode, we now need to put it in the boost. And here we go. So it's now activated. It's now saying, actually, yeah, we're now wanting to charge the vehicle, which is fine. But now, oh no, like, I've changed my mind. I need to nip to the shop. Let's turn that off. It's now come straight back up as EV disconnected. So what we're now going to do is do our ZS. And by doing that, we need to plug that into the back here. So hopefully that doesn't fall off, because if it does, that'd be very annoying and probably damage it. So we're going to set the adapter back into, so it's calling for the charge, which is down there. But because it's in the Eco Plus, and obviously it now knows what time it is, it doesn't want to charge straight away, because it's now thinking, well, no, you're not on the right tariff. You don't need to be doing that, you mentalist. But we don't want that. We want to go, right, I want to boost it. So let's get on with it and make it happen. So it's now kicked in. So now it's allowed the adapter to say, yeah, I've got a car that's all charged. We need to press for our testing, and it will give us our test result of what we're having. Very dusty, the lads didn't clean it over yesterday. So I've got a ZS reading of 0.42 and a PFC of 0.55, which is absolutely fine. So the next thing for me, so I need to obviously mark that down on my test sheet. I'm going to take that off there because it's going to fall. So we need to go onto our test results and mark that down. So now we need to do our RCD testing, which is, we'll cycle that round, and here we go. So we've now tripped out at 1 times at its 0° cycle of 28.1. Now I am hiccuping a lot because I've been a fat boy, and like I say, I've stuffed my face. So I've got to remember that, 28.1. Now you need to reset it and change the RCD testing to its 180° cycle. It's now powered up. Okay, so I've now got a result of 37.3 milliseconds. So clearly that is a higher result, and that is what we put in. So next test, we now need to do our functional test on the RCD. Functional test passed. And the thing is with that, people get a little bit like it's more than what it is. It's just pressing the test button, because sometimes, obviously, with these bits of equipment, you get faulty ones from time to time. So we now need to click on that it's passed. Has it got an AFDD in there? The answer is no. And mark that circuit as complete. So just double check everything, make sure I've not missed anything out on here. And is that. Now, one thing I will say, and I have done this before, is saving my certificate, because what happens sometimes, and I have been caught out by this, is really, really annoying. I actually did all of this, went off, iPad went flat, and I lost everything. Very annoying. So that's all saved, so we can put that down for now. All that's left to do now is just register it, register the whole job. I'll take that out of there, and now we can turn that back off, put it back, so it's now saying EV disconnected. We are all good to go. So, and there we have it. Another install done. Just need to go through with the customer, make sure his app is all up and running, register it with all what that actual charger is, and get out of here. Right, that's all done. So the client's just collared me again because I've just gone through the whole procedure in the way of how to charge it, because do you know what? I thought it's actually a nicer service to go, right, let's just get your car on the drive, let's get my van out of the way, let's get your car on, and let's just go through the whole actual plugging in and charging your car procedure. So we've just done that. I'm just about to pull off and he's come and tapped on the window and said, I can't take it out. So I've jumped back out of the van and just refreshed his memory on how we do that. I'd just like to point out how amazing that customer is. Such a nice guy, making me tea all day. And it really does go a long way with me, because I actually want to do more for the customer as well, and it works both ways. So to him, thank you very much. I do really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do. The link is in the corner. Turn your notifications on and you'll get a little message to say that we have dropped another video, which goes out every single Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and that's what we've decided on doing. So hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed doing this. I know I've been a little bit stuttery, but I think that's part of a little bit of the dyslexia and stuff kicking in today for some reason. I don't really know why, but you know, hey ho. Nice and straightforward install, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for joining the community and clicking on my video out of everybody else's. Thank you very much. See you in a bit. So all that's left to do on this job now is to sign it off, do all the paperwork, so all the installation certificate, get that sorted, and notify the DNO that another EV charger has gone onto their network. In this instance, they're going to be contacting the customer directly to say you need to upgrade their mains incomer from a 60 amp to a probably 80 to 100 amp supply. And they're usually pretty good because it usually gets authorized almost instantly. And then what I do, I email them directly over to the customer, just so he's got all the paperwork in front of him. So when he's not caught out unawares, and if there's any issues, they need any sort of registration numbers, they've got them all there. So that's it. That's me. I'm done. Off to the next job. It is going to be an extremely busy day. It's now 1:30. See you in a bit.